Alright, sorry about turning my back on you here. Very first thing you do, got to rinse out the jar. Even though it's a brand new one, you never know what it was in the store. Got a little dust blowing around. It's all going to go in the paint. Alright. Jar's emptied out. As I said before, 2 parts paint to 1 part thinner. What we're using here right now is Tester's Lime Pearl by Boyd. 1 jar. Two jars. Make sure you shake up the paint very well, especially when you're using pearls and metallics. Now, take your jar. And like I said, you're going 2 to 1 here. Alright, 2 jars empty, lacquer thinner in. Now we got to shake it real well and try to knock the model over off the table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this body a little air blast in case anything floated through the air. Alright, paint jar's in. Little test fire. Nice flow. Start lowest point. Start to the left, move to the right. All it is mist coats. Very, very light coats, barely covering. Eventually just let your color build up. Now, to ensure that the hood or any other parts, separate parts that have to be the body color are the same, just lightly coat the body, put a base down on it so your color starts coming through. Set it off to the side. Do the same for your hood. You have to constantly turn it. Now, if you're painting something like a 1941 Willys or a 40 Ford, you've got recessed areas on those cars. You have to get the paint in there first. Otherwise, you're not going to have a consistent coat on the car. You have light spots, dark spots. Once again, start left, back and forth, left to right. Nice even coats. One thing about pearls, it takes a little bit for it to build up to where it covers. Don't panic if you got some uneven spots. They'll eventually go away. The more coats you put on, the better off you are. Anybody that thinks putting 2 coats of paint on and 2 coats of clear is a fool. It doesn't work that way. Because if you go to polish the car, or say somewhere down the line, the car is inadvertently dropped, or something gets spilled on it, you're not going to have a base thick enough where you can return it, and your paint job will be ruined on the car. It'll have to be repainted or stepped on, depending on what mood you're in. I got a buddy of mine that used to really enjoy stepping on them. Beautiful work, and he'd step on them. Go figure. Coat after coat, you'll eventually build a nice base. It's nice and smooth. There's no dirt. It just flows. And whatever you do, do not stop. With enamels, what you want to do, you want to continue until you get a nice gloss. Don't believe what they say in the magazines about putting a coat on, waiting 15 minutes, reaching in, picking it back up, and shooting it again. All you're doing is inviting Murphy into the picture, because I don't care how hard you try, you're always going to have a little bit of dirt in the paint. What you want to do is keep it to a minimum. By setting it off to the side and reshooting it, you're just asking for more dirt to get in on your paint job. And as you can see, we're starting to build up a nice color base here. Once again, nice and smooth. It's starting to gloss up a little bit. The smoother the finish, the brighter the gloss, especially using testers enamels. When you hit it with the clear, all you're going to do is enhance that base. So you've already got a nice gloss going. You put the clear over top of it, it's going to look like a liquid finish, exactly what that other 66 Nova looked like. Always try to get inside your fender wells, up inside on the hood or on the roof. Now you can see that the color's starting to really come through. It's starting to become uniform. And like I said, all light mist coats get a nice build up. You won't lose your detail this way. The airbrush has to stay in constant motion. You don't stop it. Because then what we're going to do is bring Murphy back into the picture with runs and whatnot. They're not very easy to remove. Getting a nice build up here, starting to really gloss out now. And like I said, it's just constant coating. Now you're seeing the pearl and the lime green metallic starting to come through together. Make sure that you get on top of your fenders and on top of your doors. You want that smooth. You don't want any orange feel. It can be easily wet sanded out, but why make more work for yourself? Okay, now you can actually see the gloss is really starting to come through. It's nice and smooth. It's nice and even. Set that off to the side. As you can see, coming down through, you've got a nice gloss. You can see the finger moving there. Now we'll go back to the hood. What you want to do, you want to constantly turn it. Now the hood's got a little speck in it. That can be easily wet sanded out before you put it into clear. Now one thing you can do, if you got a little bit of maybe a tiny piece of hair or a fleck of dirt, you can always take an X-Acto knife. You can flick it, carefully flick it out. Enamel has a healing property to it that lacquers and other paints don't. Alright, there you have it. This car probably has about 12, maybe 13, 14 light coats on it, and you're done. We're ready to put it away. You notice behind me, there's a metal cabinet there. Metal cabinet's far better than plastic or wood. When you open the doors on a plastic cabinet or a wood cabinet, you create an electrostatic charge. As you open the doors and go to close them, whatever debris is floating in the air, it's going to pull in, it's going to go right in on your paint. So, in goes the car. Carefully shut the door. And that'll allow it to gas out. It'll be safe, no dirt in the cabinet.